all.
Good morning.
Good morning, all.
Good morning.
Morning.
Excellent. It's my pleasure to welcome you here to our first Fireside Chat. I am Dr. Bhojwani. I'm the interim chair of the Business and Entrepreneurship Department here at Prince George's Community College. It's an honor to have you all here for this special event. I'd like to also extend a warm welcome to our panelists, faculty, students, and local business professionals. I'd also like to just thank all of you for showing up. I know you have class now. Thank you all for coming out. Thank you, professors, for allowing them to come to this Fireside Chat. This one is particularly important because this year we're celebrating PGCC's 65th anniversary. That deserves a hand. The goal of the Fireside Chats is to teach students how to connect what you're learning in class with actually industry. And we really are grateful to have Hilton here to share their knowledge. Let's give them a hand. As we move forward, these leaders here, they bring a wealth of information about Hilton, how it operates, the opportunities that are available. Please pay close attention, and they're going to tell you about their journey. They actually have journey slides showing where they started and where they are now, which gives you an indication that you can go anywhere within that organization. Here is Priscilla. And Priscilla, I just wanted to thank her because Priscilla, we spoke on via Zoom almost about 2 months ago. And basically, she just wanted to let us know, what can I do for PGCC? So she was the one that helped me coordinate and get our panelists here. So I just wanted to give a hand clap for Priscilla. She will be available to speak with you afterwards. After we're done with the fireside, they will be open for questions, so they will shift here. So if your question isn't addressed here, they will personally address it here. So they have made up that they will stay even after Fireside is done and speak to the students. So I am grateful for that. So our moderator is our Dr. Kathy Yorkshire. She's a professor here at Prince George Community College. She has taught here since 2001. She teaches in our business department. She teaches both introductory and upper level courses. She holds a master's degree in administrative management and an EDD in higher education and in community college leadership. Dr. Yorkshire's experience and expertise makes her the perfect guide to today's discussion. I also want to take a moment, I think I see Professor Bowen here, to thank Professor Bowen because she was the one that helped me put together the Fireside Chat. Again, this is our first. We will have one every single month dealing with different industries, so please make your way every fourth Monday of the month. We will be doing a Fireside Chat. I want to also thank the volunteers, the interns, and all of you, our sound, our media, all of you. I encourage everyone to engage fully. Please ask questions. Take advantage of this unique opportunity. Once again, welcome and thank you for joining us as we celebrate PGCC's 65 years of educational excellence. Without further ado, I hand it over to Dr. Yorkshire to begin today's discussion.
Now, I appreciate the hand clap for me, but why don't you clap for yourselves for being here? Thank you so much and welcome. I'm just so glad to see so many of you in the room. Again, I am Dr. Kathy Yorkshire, and it is my distinct honor and pleasure to be the moderator for today's Fireside Chat. Today's discussion will be a unique opportunity for you to hear from two Hilton executives, to hear about their journey through Hilton, as well as the hospitality industry overall. So please, please, please prepare your questions. They're also going to talk about what it takes to succeed succeed in the dynamic world of hospitality. And as part of PGCC's ongoing mission to academic excellence and engagement with the business community, and in celebration of our 65th anniversary, it's events like today that bridge the gap between real world experience and education. So I'm thrilled to introduce our panelists. Without further ado, to my left and your right is Blaire Bhojwani, Vice President of Learning. Let's give her a hand clap. And we have Paolo Predazzini, General Manager of the Capitol Hilton. These leaders bring a wealth of knowledge and experience. So we have some prepared questions for them, and then, as Dr. King said, we will open the floor for you to ask questions, as well as to stay after for a few minutes if you want to do some one-on-one networking of your own. Okay, so let's get started. The first question here: how has the role of technology transformed operations in hospitality beyond the front desk? Can you share examples from your own area of work where technology has significantly enhanced other services?
I guess I'll take this one first. Good morning, everybody. My name is Paolo Predazzini. I'm the General Manager of Capitol Hilton, and I have been with the Hilton over 25 years. My first job with Hilton was 1987, so don't pull up your calculator and trying to understand how many years ago, but I was pretty much your age, and I started to work in room service, and then life and experience, and then finally I was able to land the job as a general manager. Oh, there it is. So I started in room service in Gatwick in London, and funny story, I had a badge with my name, and underneath my name, language trainee was written. I didn't speak a word of English. And not sure I got any better after 4 years, but I'm trying. And then after that, I was studying hotel management school in Milan, Italy. And so I was using the summer to improve my language skills. We had to learn 3 different languages. I was studying English, German, and French. So after my experience in England, I decided to go to Germany and improve my German. And I worked in Munich, always with Hilton. And then finally, I started working in my home country, and I started a food and beverage management training at the Cavalieri Hilton in Rome. That brought me from food and beverage, event management into sales. And then I took a trip to the dark side. I went to work for Marriott for 7 years. And I was offered the opportunity to be part of the opening team for their largest, still the largest convention hotel they have in Europe, in Rome. And after 7 years, I saw the light again, and I went back to work for Hilton as a general manager at the Hilton Sorrento, the Amalfi Coast. I was there for 5 years, and then my wife and I decided that we wanted to move to the States, so that our children will have the options to choose where they wanted to live in their future. So they completed their study in DC, and I have now been in DC for 9 years, and this is my 3rd hotel. So just to give you a little bit of context and introduction as to what I do and who I am. And to answer your question, Katie, so yes, technology has changed, and it keeps changing our environment. Of course, fundamentally, hospitality is a business of people, serving people, of creating experiences. So the human touch will always be there. However, there are some areas where technology has and is still playing a very important role. Think about reservations, right? So reservation used to be either made through travel agents or just calling the hotel. Now you don't even, it goes straight to, if you call the hotel, 9 times out of 10, the call is not even answered at hotel level, is diverted to a reservation system. And majority of the reservation come through come through electronically. So either the .com or all the online travel agents like Expedia, Booking.com, which I'm sure you are very familiar with. And so that is the first part that is really taking a big shift in our industry. And in a whole bunch of technology, think about even the connection with the guest once they check in is 90% now is done through text. So we used a texting platform, for which we get the consent from guests once they check in, and all the communication is done through text. And ultimately, even the check-in process can be done automatically right now. So you can check in through your app if you're an honest member and go straight to your room without even coming by the front desk. And so that's some of the areas where technology has been more impactful in the front desk. But still, the interaction, it would be difficult, if not impossible, to replace the interaction of person to person in our industry, at least.
Thanks. I'll share a little bit about my career story and add to what Paolo mentioned around technology. So again, my name is Blaire Bhojwani, and last Tuesday, on September 16th, I celebrated 33 years at Hilton. And thank you. And I was on that day last week, I was in an HRT meeting, and we were celebrating, and I said, you know what, after 33 years, I am fulfilled, but I am not finished. And there is so many great things to continue to accomplish within hospitality, within the area that I work for and learning, that the future just continues to excite me and really inspire me to go to work every day and know that we're making a difference. And so across those 33 years, I graduated with a degree in hotel management from a college in Florida, Florida International University. I started in the dark side with Marriott and graduated at a time when there weren't a thriving lots of opportunities back many, many years ago. And I was fortunate to end up with Hilton in their hospitality management training program. And I'd spent a number of years at the front desk. I aspired to be like Paolo and become a general manager. So I wanted to get a lot of great rooms division experience. And I thought, okay, I've done front desk, and I learned a little bit about housekeeping. And once I realized that housekeeping was in charge of the turn-down chocolate, where we would have a big box of chocolate to put in the guest rooms every night, I knew that was the department that I wanted to lead. And learned so much about the rooms division at the hotel at the Hilton McLean in Northern Virginia. But it was during my time in that rooms division that I realized how critical training and development was. And so that's where I really had a passion and a spark for human resources as well as training and development. And so number of years I transitioned from the hotel to our corporate office, where I was able to lead training for a specific region and then oversee training for a number of our brands. Took a little hop into brand management, came back to learning when we had a leader that had such a vision to build what we now call Hilton University, which is our platform for learning to educate across all of our team members. And today, couldn't be more proud of being able to lead global learning and touch 400,000 team members across the world with what we do every day to build learning, to build development programs that develop competence and confidence for our team members. And technology plays a very, very big part in what we do in learning. We know team members learn at Hilton. You all learn in your school in a variety of ways. But we know being able to deploy mobile learning, just-in-time learning, learning in the flow of work via a mobile device really generates success. We upskill people faster, and they're more engaged. Who wants to sit in a training class for 4 to 8 hours now when they can quickly Google something, learn about it, and we want to have our learning generate that excitement and drive those skills in what's relevant for today. We also use a lot of different technology So we'll have online learning, we'll have classroom learning. We've also created learning in virtual reality, in immersive environments, as well as augmented reality, which can upskill people way faster than we used to do 10 and 20 years ago. The last thing I'll say about technology is clearly the power that artificial intelligence can bring to not only learning more about our team members and our guests, but again, driving efficiencies, and we see it every day. So it's really exciting to look across hotel operations as well as learning for where technology can make a difference.
Thank you both. I just wanted to dive in a little bit deeper with regard to the front desk roles. I know you mentioned earlier that, you know, now we can just check in via our phones. We don't need to go to the front desk to speak to someone to get the key and all of that. So how has the front desk positions, those roles, how have they evolved since that time of being able to have the one-on-one with them, and have those positions decreased, or have the roles been repurposed in a way? I don't know if that's the right word.
Yeah, that's a great term, and I'll jump in first. I was very close to when we launched Digital Key about 10 years ago and developed all the learning. And what you said, that was the fear a front desk team member had. Was my job going to go away because now a guest doesn't have to interact with me and get a key, they can just walk right by me. And we were very insistent that no, and to your point, the job has evolved and really repurposed, and if you think about it, the front desk interaction, I get the key, I check in the guest, it's very transactional. And the fact that that can now be done, that transaction, without a person having to stop at the desk, that affords this team member much more opportunity to develop a deeper relationship with the guest and be there to answer important questions, to share local experiences, to have the time they need to manage guest requests and again, dialogue. And so it's been a great evolution. I don't think we've lost one job. I don't think we've failed in guest service. But what we do teach our team members now is to have what we call a digital mindset and think about how we can really support the digital interaction so it affords us more time for that in-person engagement.
Ultimately, what it does, it gives options. Gives option finally to our guests, to our end consumers. So if they decide that, you know, it's late at night, they've had a very hard day, and they see there's 2 or 3 people in front of them at the front desk, and they decided to just check in directly and digitally, they have the option to do so. And as what I was saying, will really free up our team to really have those interaction with the guests that really want to have the interaction and sit down and talk and ask questions about the destination and ask questions about the hotel, or just share their experiences, which is at the end of the day, it's what we do. We create experiences, or we try to.
That's good, because, you know, there are a lot of people, younger and older, who prefer that in-person touch and that, you know, customer service, customer experience connection, where they don't want to, you know, do anything digital. They want to speak directly with the person. So that's great to know.
I tell you, I personally don't use it.
Oh, I love it. I don't want to talk to anybody.
I want to go to the desk and I want to make myself known. I want to understand the person is in front of me. I want to create that connection. So that's, it's like 2 people working for the same company and with different needs and different ideas.
Mm-hmm. And that's actually a great segue into the next question that I have here. Apart from direct guest interactions, what other departments or roles are you involved with that are critical in shaping the guest experience? And how do these functions collaborate to ensure a seamless guest experience?
Every department in the hotel is there to create the experience. So from as I was saying, the reservation process, which is now the majority is digitalized. However, you need to make sure that is seamless, so that also the reservation becomes a positive digital experience. And then once the guest steps foot into the hotel, everybody will impact their experience, from the front desk, as we talked about it, from the front service, meaning the doorman, the bellman, to the housekeeper, to the bartender or servers, or anybody that is really in the hotel. We really do a lot to make sure that all our team members do engage with the guests at every single opportunity that they have. It is of paramount importance, because that's what we do. For me, hospitality is like having a guest in your house. When you have a guest in your house, you open the door to them. You are available for them. It's not that you open the door and you show them the room and then say, we hit at 11 o'clock and that's the bathroom and welcome. That's not what hospitality is. It's really giving something of yourself to create experience for someone else. And so every single department, every single touch point in the hotel is there to create the experience and can impact positively or negatively an experience. Even the billing process. Think about a group. You have a wonderful event, everything goes well, and then you see the bill that is a mess. It's difficult to reconcile, and the backup does not match what the bill is all about. So it is really a big effort to create a cohesive experience that is something that is to remember.
Yeah, and I'll build upon that because he shared a lot of the view of what happens at the hotel. But at the corporate office, we might not see the guests. In fact, we don't see the guests. We sit in an office building, but clearly we have a strong impact on the guest experience. There's such a variety of departments that make up our corporate office. And so when you think about guest experience, we think about the towels we use, we think about the food we eat. And a lot of that is generated from the purchasing department that supports the hotels. So they're responsible for making sure the hotels can order the right linens, order the right food, all contributing to the guest experience. In learning, we make sure that 400,000 team members are upskilled to do the job, to deliver that great guest experience, to deliver on Hilton's promise, and that's to deliver a reliable and friendly stay. Team members at his hotel across the world can't do that if they don't have really great training that drives awareness, skills, and behavior change. There's so many other departments that make up the corporate office that support the guest experience. Another one I'd share is our marketing department. And they're responsible for supporting our guest loyalty program, which is Hilton Honors, or our honors program. And there's so much work that goes in to engage the customer, for them to join Hilton Honors, and that drives repeat business, and that also drives a great guest experience. So much of what happens with the guest experience when you're at a hotel happens by people that you never even see, whether in the corporate office or in the hotel. And that really, again, drives that great guest experience and certainly makes the difference at Hilton. But I hope from what I said, you also got a flavor of all the different variety of departments that make up that guest experience, even though you may interact with just one or two people at a hotel.
Thank you both. How does Hilton support and train employees in roles that do not involve the front desk? And what opportunities exist for career growth within your specific areas?
Yeah, so I'll start to say that we create learning for all. And when I mean for all, it is from the steward and the housekeeper all the way to our general managers and our senior leaders. And we believe at Hilton that everybody's a leader. And so everybody has access to everything around leadership development, to building their skills around their job, whether they're in the front desk or room service or housekeeping, marketing, food and beverage, etc. And we do that in a variety of ways. And so if you're a new team member coming into a hotel, you'd experience Hilton orientation, which drives awareness for the company. You would experience a lot of our job skills training, which is done via online learning and quick videos. And then you'd experience a lot around service and how to deliver what I recalled on delivering a reliable and friendly stay. So a lot of tactical training. We deliver it with a multimodal approach because we know learning is not one size fits all. So again, through online learning and quick videos and the different technologies we talked about. In addition, hotel and corporate team members also have access to great curated libraries of learning, whether that's from LinkedIn Learning we use. We have libraries around cultural and for team members to learn about different things around the world. We use libraries from other universities such as Harvard and Cornell that offer long-form courses. And again, these are available to everybody that's within our hotels and corporate office. So we really believe in lifelong learning. Learning never stops, in continuing to build your skills in a variety of ways. And our goal is to set up our team members for success when they have that first interaction with a guest or another team member in a corporate office and other. We have different tracks for hotel team members, for general managers, again, a great variety of programming so that they can, again, deliver on that guest experience. And your last question about career opportunities, that's what I think fuels great career opportunities at Hilton, because there is so much formal learning, but also informal learning through mentoring, through coaching. All of that gives a very well-rounded experience to position our team members for growth at hotels, at corporate office, to go back and forth, because there's such a variety of learning.
I would add that learning is a self-driven process. It's a self-driven process. It's a mindset. It is, you have to be curious. You have to want to know what happens outside of my own department. And Hilton gives you all of the opportunity through the Hilton University, as Blaire was saying. But it's also a microcosm. There's plenty of departments in the hotel. So if you are working at the front desk and you want to understand how is the process, how does the kitchen work, how does housekeeping work, nobody will stop you to try and understand and ask questions and be curious. We do foster and require and facilitate cross-departmental training as well. And if you are curious, if you are hungry, and you have the right mindset and the right attitude, you will be noticed in the organization, and opportunity will come to you. So just keep that in mind, because there's a lot of usually can come as an excuse. I didn't receive the right training, but that's training is a self-driven process. So the limit is what you make of it.
Yeah, I would add, I usually will say that, learning's like a buffet. It's all there, and to your point, Paolo, it is self-initiated, like take advantage of it. And it is so critical, because having that curiosity mindset and being able to learn about something that's maybe not in your immediate area, that again fuels career progression and opportunity. And it's an open door, a buffet, so it's all there served up for you to take advantage of.
I like the buffet analogy. I'm going to use it.
And I was going to ask, but you answered it. I was going to ask if there are any trainings that you all require, because it sounds like they have that buffet where they can pick and choose what they would like to learn, but then there's some trainings that you all require them to.
Yeah, I mean, again, if you're going into a hotel role, you're going to be required to take training for that specific role so you can excel in it. We also have a strong foundation of compliance training around our code of conduct, antitrust, and diversity. And so there are some foundational elements that are required, but I'd say we make them as engaging as possible so there's interest. It's not just like a check the box off. And we all have brand standards across our hotels. And so enable to enact and support those brand standards, there is training requirements that are needed to be met.
I'm going through a training, a coaching session right this year, and to improve my leadership skills, or actually to because that's what I really want. I want to make sure that I give the team the best opportunity for them to excel and to remove any red tape. So I do question myself every single day. What can I do better to make sure that my team is successful? So, and even being here for me is a training today. It's the opportunity to, first of all, I always, there's Hilton University. I never really knew the face behind the Hilton University. So Blaire, finally, no, but it's joking aside, even being here today and have the opportunity to share my experience and hopefully learn from your experience is a training. I will walk away with an increased knowledge at the end of the day than I actually came here.
Thank you for sharing that, both of you. I know some of my students in the room have heard me challenge them and say, go do something new. Allow yourself to be stretched. And I'm pretty sure my colleagues challenge their students as well to do the same thing. We're doing it, as professors, and so we want you all to do the same thing because we all want to be lifelong learners. So beyond formal education, what key skills or personal attributes do you believe are essential for success in the hospitality industry today?
I keep saying we're an industry of people serving industry. So if you want to work in the front line in the hotel, in the service portion of the hospitality business, you have to be a people person. You have to like being with people. You need to like to work in a team, and you need to have that kind of attitude of wanting to impact your guest. Right. So that is the number one attitude that I think is necessary. Actually, it is necessary in our business. And then, like in any other business, you have to be, and we all. I recently read a book, The Ideal Team Player. Right. So, and then there are 3 traits of anybody working in a team that kind of resonated with me. So you need to be humble. You need to be hungry and you need to be smart. So humble it's pretty self-explanatory. In terms of hungry, we talked about it. You have so many opportunity and you need to really be able to grasp them and wanting to grasp them. And then smart. Smart, not in the sense of smart, because, not in the traditional sense of the word, but you need to be people smart. When you work with people, when you work in a team, you really need to understand what are the triggers that will create and foster the team as a one unit. We all have different personality. We all have different way of seeing things. We all have different way of perceiving things, which is very important in our business perception. And you need to be able to understand how you can relate with the other person that you have in front of you to be able to both be successful.
And I would say beyond formal education, what comes to my mind is thinking back to that Hilton as a company is grounded in its purpose and its values. And so when I look across for kind of skills and behaviors beyond anything formal, I think about our purpose, to fill the earth with the light and warmth of hospitality. And if somebody can do that and put a smile on a guest's face or a team member's face, really work to surprise and delight someone and that wants to be this larger force of good in the world, that's what it takes, spreading the light and warmth of hospitality. And ask yourself, well, what do I do every day? What do I do now to spread light and warmth? And that is what I know that I'm looking for and our hotels look for. The other thing that I think about across our purpose platform are our Hilton values. And these are behaviors and traits that show up in a variety of ways. But our values is a simple acronym from Hilton. The H stands for hospitality, integrity, leadership, teamwork, ownership, and now. So people can get the first 5 and they're like, now? What does now mean? Now means to operate with a sense of urgency, to be agile, to be flexible. So think about how you are as a student and live any of those values. Hospitality, people serving people. Integrity, doing the right things that matter the most. Leadership, showing up as a leader, as a student, in your community, in a job, at home. We all showcase different leadership abilities. As Paolo mentioned, collaboration and teamwork, so important. Nothing gets done at the hotels just by one person. It takes a village, it takes many departments to make sure the rooms are the way they need to be, the banquet is set, food and beverage operations runs. And so to be able to collaborate and have a strong sense of teamwork is very, very important. The O in ownership, you have to take accountability. Again, you know this as students for your work in a job, and being able to own and feel ownership for the guest experience or the team member experience or for your student experience really stands out. And I spoke about now, but none of that, is done without really feeling grounded in what I look for around that hospitality spirit, spreading the light and warmth of hospitality, and also this opportunity to surprise and delight our guests. We talk about that across all 20 plus brands. That is such a critical skill. And again, you do these skills every day. So it's not about having a formal education in hotel restaurant management. It's not always having the deep, deep vertical experience across any of these departments that we talk about. If you are willing to learn, and if you can show that you have examples across any of those values, and share your own personal purpose and find connection to it at Hilton, that's what I would hire for and look for.
Thank you. How important, we've talked about technology in length, but how important is technology proficiency for new hires in Hilton, especially with the increasing integration of tech in hospitality operations?
Yeah, I'd say, look, you're students, you live in the digital world now. I'm sure every day you're on your phones using technology, Microsoft Office, et cetera, et cetera. Those are like the table stakes of expectations. And on the flip side, we can train for any other platform. So I think if people are hesitant, be like, oh, I'm not sure I could do revenue management. I'm not sure about finance or working in sales, because there's a number of platforms. We have proprietary Hilton platforms that say check-in guests, what it's called on-cue property management or PEP. We have a few different ones. So that is learning that we would give you, because you're not going to get that anywhere else, and you'd be trained and really develop competence in that. We also use tools and platforms like Salesforce or our revenue management Grow platform. Again, some are off the shelf, some are customized for Hilton, but you can count on Hilton to upskill you on any of that. I think it's just a willing to learn, a willing to make mistakes and try again with new technology. I think it's about embracing the technology and understanding how it can drive efficiencies. And don't worry, because Hilton will, again, train you to build that competence. It's not something that you have to have all wrapped up, but build upon your foundational skills that clearly you already have.
And if you are a computer science major, there also is a place for you at Hilton. We have a department with the DNA, the data and analytics. I don't know what they do, but I try to understand. Yeah, they're very smart people. And then, as Blaire was saying, we have a lot of system and platform that are self-developed.
Yeah.
So we do need people who know what to do, and software engineers, and they're able to create the codes and everything else related to it to make those systems work.
Yeah.
Because I can't.
Yeah. So it's such a good point. There's clearly a lot of some hard skills that are needed in software engineering and data analytics. And if that is your drive, then we have a place for you, as Paolo shared. And there's a lot that we can teach you too.
Thank you. I'm pretty sure we have a number of students in here who are studying marketing. And so how does a background in marketing or brand management prepare candidates for a career in hospitality?
Hotels, like any other industry, live in this transformational marketing experience. Marketing used to be a B2B process. Now it's really going to B2C, directly to consumer. So I see in the present and also in the next future job experience in marketing and in content development and film production to be able to really be vital for the hospitality industry. Think about it. Be able to communicate with your end consumer in such a direct and fast way is something that the industry has never seen. And so I do believe that is going to become more and more important.
Yeah, marketing, when I think of marketing, I think of, how are we engaging current customers, new customers, team members? We have a whole big team of recruitment that markets to students as well. And I think it's a great space to be creative and to think about new things. If I look at the evolution of Hilton and the way we market, it is so different from 20 years ago, and those skills in social marketing are needed, and just the way we do it, is really unique. And it's fun to trace, if you look at our old ads from from logos and colors, and the marketing team is responsible for all of that. And today's consumer, is hit with so much. There's so much out there. So to understand how to target your message, how to understand how to creatively unpack that, but more important, also, how do you deliver on that marketing message is all part of, I think, a lot of great things to think about that support the hospitality industry. Today, you'll see Hilton marketing in many, many new ways. We even engage our founder's great-great-granddaughter. You might see ads with Paris Hilton. We didn't do that years and years ago, but you want to also find relevance and inspirational, and ensure that marketing, again, is targeted with wherever the region in the world, but thinking about it through those lens, what's going to be relevant, how we're going to engage future guests is a really great, important skill. You also asked about brand management, and our brand managers lead, I think, 23 of the best brands in the industry. And the key skill there, you might be surprised to know, isn't so much about dreaming up a new brand and thinking about the products. Brand management is all about relationships. Relationships with owners, with management companies, convincing them to invest more in their hotel, and convincing them that, Hilton is the best choice and the right choice. And so engaging with others and building those relationships, having difficult conversations at times, I think are all relevant skills in brand management that make Hilton successful.
Thank you. And I'm sure that there are a number of students in the room who are social media specialists, brand strategists, and the like. So how can students specifically showcase innovative thinking or creativity in their studies and extracurricular activities to make them more attractive to recruiters in the hospitality sector?
That's a difficult one. But so we creative thinking and build upon your own skills. It's the most important thing, right? If you are, and at the end, ultimately, a recruiter, what we look for is to find the right person, right? We talked about it. It's an industry of people serving people. So we want to make sure that the person who joins the team is the right candidate. And by displaying all of the attitude and that we have talked about before. So the fact that you are showing curiosity, that you are improving, trying to improve yourself, and you are being curious to learn what is out there, it's definitely going to be at your advantage. As far as marketing and creativity, that's a niche part of the conversation. So I would encourage you to really just go out there. It doesn't necessarily mean that I was I don't know if I was lucky or I was cursed, but I saw the calling right early in my career. I never worked anywhere outside of hotel or the service industry. So I knew that that's what I wanted to do. At first I was dreaming to work on cruise ships because I wanted to travel the world, but I very soon learned that you only live in a small quarter, you're not allowed to really get out of the ship that much. So I said, no, that's not what I want. But not everybody finds that early. So it is okay to experiment. It is okay to go out there. It is okay to gain experiences. At the end of the day, everything will help you to build your personality, which is your main asset. Your personality, yourself. This is your brand. This is what you bring to the job force. So, and that's what we look for. We look for the special person, somebody who's curious, who's not afraid to question himself or herself.
Yeah, I'd say there's no magic formula anymore of looking for this exact fit or that exact fit. For me, it's about additive talent. What are you going to bring that's different from what I have and my team members have, and what skill sets and experiences you have to add to our talent pool? And again, because there's such a variety of jobs, and we train for those skills that you need, anything is possible, I think, for you to look at a hotel and try for a variety of different roles. I think the important thing is understanding that there's so many skills out there and experiences that are relevant to the hospitality industry. So you may think, well, I've never worked in a hotel, how can I apply? But perhaps you've had retail experience, customer service experience, on the phone or in person. You've had experience in clubs at schools or extracurricular activities or sports. Those all tie back to those Hilton values that I talked about. And so by pursuing things that you're passionate about and that have purpose, that all makes the difference. And it makes you all very attractive future talent for Hilton. If you're willing to learn, if you're willing to try, you're willing to make mistakes and learn from them, there are absolutely, again, a variety of opportunities. The last thing I would say on that, when you are preparing for your interviews, we want to hear about that past experience. So much so that the technique we use that maybe you're familiar with is behavioral-based interviewing, where we will ask you a question, and we really want to hear how your past experience would answer that question, and show examples and be specific. Again, it doesn't have to tie back to work experience. It could be experience as a student or in your community or with your family. But that really showcases, whether you believe it or not, the acuity you need for jobs, I'd say, at Hilton.
Thank you. Now I have one last question, and then we will open it up to you all. So get ready. We did touch on this just a little bit, but if you want to add a bit more to the response, please do so. What educational backgrounds do you find most prevalent among your team members? And are there specific degrees or certification that Hilton particularly values?
Yeah, what comes to my mind, I would say, we have equal hospitality students with degrees and non-hospitality students. And we have verticals, again, in finance, in marketing, in procurement, that they might have that background. That certainly helps. Education and experience, again, in customer service, so I think is such a vital, vital skill. And the other thing I would say, the experience I like to look for, it's not a non-negotiable, but when I hire into the corporate office, I do love when a team member has that hotel experience. because they understand and can empathize with what hotel operations are like and understand that experience. Team members coming to the corporate office that don't have that experience, we can set up an immersion, we can train them as well, but having that is very beneficial, I think, in the corporate office. And as far as certifications, I don't look for a specific one in particular, but I think having kind of pledged yourself to learn and to grow and get accredited in a certain skill or through a certain association, I mean, again, that just shows me your drive, your determination, and again, your spirit to learn. But a lot of people that I hire, I would say, come from, again, a variety of colleges, a variety of work experiences, and it's not like so structured that we would dismiss anyone for not having some certain degrees or certifications. I'd like to look at the whole person and see what they bring.
Yeah, I don't think that I've ever looked too much into the education, rather more the experience and what this person brings in the team, and what kind of additional traits he can bring to the rest of the team. Yeah, but driving in, I saw the culinary school. Is anybody here in culinary sitting in the room? Well, that's definitely one study that opens up a specific job within hospitality. So come and talk to me.
Great track.
And I believe the culinary arts department chair is here as well. Dr. Benini?
Hospitality service management.
Oh, great.
I was just really interested in maybe an internship because I was informed by many people that there was a possibility of that. So, yeah.
You can speak to me afterwards, and I'm happy to tell you about the
Thank you.
program. Yep.
Yeah, but I would add to say we have a very dynamic internship program.
It's beautiful.
You are deep into a department, but you have access to tremendous Hilton leaders across. I think it's an 8-week program. You're responsible for typically a key project in the department, and you're just. I think people come in not knowing much about Hilton and leave touched by the culture, inspired by the leaders.
That's what I see.
And don't want to go anywhere else. And it is a great thing that Priscilla can tell you more about.
All right, man. Thank you.
My name is Shania. I love the whole the chat today. I had a couple questions, but I'll just kind of ask one for now. My first question is, how do you differ from other hotels in your hospitality? I guess I'm more so curious about, because other hotels may be offering the same kind of things in hospitality, what makes Hilton differ in that area to attract people to your hotel?
Our people. So there's been a lot done in the last, how long is Christina CEO? 15 years?
2000, when my boys were born, 2000, so about 18 years.
About 18 years. He really pushed to create the culture that led us to be recognized recently as the #1 company in the world to work for.
The only hospitality
The
company.
only hospitality company. And it has been an effort, and it's really worked in creating the right culture. And culture is a broad word. It encompasses many aspects and facets of the company, of the industry, of the hospitality. but there's really been a laser focused effort in making sure that we have the right people, that we treat the right our people in the way that they want to create the best experiences for our guests. I can't speak for other companies, but I can tell you that this is our driving force and is our people.
I'll add one thing. So, thank you for asking, because that's a very, great question. What makes us different? And what I would say what also makes us different is the commitment we make to our team members. We have a team member promise to be the most inclusive home for our team members. And those aren't just words to us. It is absolutely essential that our team members feel comfortable, can come to their workplace and be themselves, bring their whole selves to work. I care about themselves and their families, and just being that safe space and welcoming all, I think helps us stand out as well.
Did you want to go ahead and ask the other question?
Yeah, sure. I can just say it out. My next question was about kind of how you guys started out. You said that you started off at the receptionist at the front desk and you were in room services. Thank you. So my question was more so about what was your drive? Like, what made you realize that this is something that you're interested in and you want to go further with? And what drove you, what gave you that drive to go for the next position? And what would be your advice to students who don't really know what they want to do, what their skill is or what their strength is when they're in a, I guess, starting position like that? What would be your advice to them to finding their drive or realizing their skill?
Sure. So I'll start to say that I think it's very common and not to feel so much pressure that you need to have it all figured out. And it took me a while. My first major was archaeology. I'm not sure why. I dreamed of Indiana Jones, and that inspired me, those movies. Then I bounced into fashion merchandising, because that's what my family did. I thought, well, I should follow in the steps of my dad. And at my school, all my friends were taking hotel restaurant classes. I'm like, wow, that just sounds so cool. So I dropped all my fashion classes. I kind of didn't tell my dad, and just started. And for me, it was that deep interest in this topic, these professors who would talk about this real world experience really sparked it for me. And I just said, well, let me just get a job at the front desk, and that's where I started. And the question around, what was the difference and how did I grow? I'd say two things. It was my own, internal curiosity to learn and grow and want to make this a career. But it was also other leaders, other people that now I consider a mentor who took me along for the ride, who I know that I would not be sitting in this chair today as VP of Learning without their support, their guidance, their friendship, and their leadership. And so for whatever you're going after and seeking insights for, and that's great, but also find someone who can mentor you, who can be there for you, and who can help pave a path. And ultimately, find those that are mentors and sponsors. Very important in your career to find people who will advocate for you. But don't get hung up if you're not sure. Try different things. Go experiment and talk to other leaders and business people across industries. You're hearing about hospitality. Sounds like you'll have other chats to learn from other executives across many industries. Take advantage of all those opportunities.
As Blaire said, there's really no one size fits all in this, in the growth path for each one of us. For instance, Blaire worked at the front desk. I've been working in hotel for over 35 years, 25 with Hilton. I never checked in a person in my life. I don't know how to check in a person. So we all have a different path. But the most important thing is your commitment to wanting to grow, to yourself. Your commitment to yourself to wanting to grow and be curious and ask questions and put yourself out there. If you put yourself out there, you will be noticed.
Yes.
How will, for a new employee, how will that, what you learn in Hilton be applicable to outside of work? So when you're not working or trying to look for all opportunities or trying to, let's say, social network with older people in similar situation to you, how could working on Hilton be beneficial?
I would say that any experience that you do outside in the work environment or in the school environment or at home is beneficial for your growth. So whatever you learn in every field, in every aspect is beneficial for your own path. So when you look at any big company or any big enterprise, the trait of being able to work together and be in a team is something that you can apply everywhere for the rest of your career. Everywhere, every decision, every path you want to take, it will be helpful for you. Was that the question that you asked?
Yes.
Yes. So for my students in the room who, I often put you in groups. What he said, does it sound familiar? Yes, you're gonna have to be on teams and in groups, throughout your journey, not just in school. I saw a hand. Young lady, yes.
Firstly, I'd like to say thank you for spending time with us. My first question is, between your first position and your present one, what was the biggest challenge you faced? That's it. I mean, in hospitality. Yeah.
Well, I tell you, my first position, my biggest challenge was the English language, and it still is. But kidding aside, I don't know that I can say there has been a challenge that has been insurmountable, okay, and that I can define. But there's always been, I know that I sound like a broken record, but there's always been a common element of being there with the people and being able to learn from other people. And that has been really the leitmotif of my career working in hospitality. I learn every single day. I learn from everybody. I have my routine. I start my day usually in the kitchen. Kitchen for me is one of, after 40 years in the industry, I can understand what is going to be a good day or a not so good day from the kitchen. From the vibe that I can feel in the kitchen, I'm able to understand what kind of day is going to be. And being in the kitchen, we are lucky. I have team members from all over the world, from South America, from Vietnam, Laos, local. So there is that understanding and learning from them. I go around and I ask, what are you doing? How are you making this? What's in this one? Do you have any special recipe? And how is this done? Why do this? Why do that? Because I honestly, I'm invested. I want to learn. I want to understand what they do. And then I use that also to understand how I can make their job better. Right? I give you a simple, silly example, which is, working in the kitchen. Have you ever worked in the kitchen before? What is your name? Ryan. Have you ever worked in the kitchen before? Or yes. So what is the most frustrating things that you do in the kitchen? The most frustrating things that you do in the kitchen that is boring and it's.
The most frustrating thing I would say is that's a tough one.
Well, I can tell you what mine has been and mine is cutting onions or cutting potatoes. I cut my finger off almost clean doing that. So, and you see the team that is there and doing this repetitive task day after day after day. Now I researched them. I reached out to HSM and there's the new machine, there's a robot. It's wonderful. You put the potato in and it comes out in any shape or form that you want in 5 seconds. I bought it. And I came back one day to the team and said, this is for you. And it was wonderful. Now they don't have to do that. But they do other things and they can put more time into being more creative in coming up with different recipe that can be implemented into the menu. So going back to your question, it's really not a challenge. It got all opportunity. How you can become a better person or grow by what you do every single day.
So I'll speak about a challenge from very early in my career and then one today. I think when I was 21 years old, I was assistant director of housekeeping at this hotel. I knew nothing about housekeeping. I hadn't spent a day. I just knew, again, they were in charge of the chocolate is what appealed to me. And here I was with a team of 80 people running cleaning rooms all day, a whole laundry. I'd never seen a bigger washer machine in my life. And I knew nothing and had to really tell this team that I'm there to learn and I'm there to support them. But, nothing got past them so quick. I really had to earn their trust. I really had to earn their respect. And standing beside them, doing the job day in and day out, that, I got their trust and their confidence in me, but it was a challenge in the beginning. All they were interested in was to know that I spoke Spanish. That was a very big hit for my team, but it still wasn't enough. I definitely had to earn their friendship and support if I was going to lead this team. So early on, not thinking like you have to have all the answers, you have to be the smartest person in the room. You never should feel that way. No, you're going to learn from others. But I was a very young and inexperienced manager, and I will always say that I grew up at the Hilton McLean Hotel. It's very special. The housekeeping department will always have my heart just because of everything I learned. I would say a more recent challenge was transitioning into my role last year as Vice President of Learning, where I was Senior Director with my peers. I had 5 wonderful friends. We all led learning together, and our boss moved on to a bigger role, and I stepped into that role. So think about now leading and being the boss of your best friends. It is not very fun in the beginning, and it was a challenge, but through being an authentic person and sharing with them my vision and resetting expectations, I feel very proud of the high-performing team we've become, but certainly a challenge to go from peer to leader in a new role. Thanks, great question.
Thank you.
All right, we are at time. I see some hands up. I do apologize because we could talk another hour and 15 minutes, but a lot of you we know have to get to your next class. If you can stay to speak with them right after we're done, please, you're welcome to do so.
Thank you all for coming. We'll see you at the next Fireside Chat.